Hello guys, in this video I'm going to teach you how to use portals using the latest version of React. Okay, so first I want to start with the motivation behind this feature. To demonstrate the motivation, let's take an example, build it without the portal feature, and then after completing the example we will use the portal feature and see the differences. So let's start by building a model with React. This is a very simple example to demonstrate the need of portals. We start with a very basic project, including the app file, in which we will use the model window after we will create it. We have a button that when clicked, the show property of the model window is set. That's it, there is nothing special inside this simple hub. Now, let's create the model window component. Let's first take care for imports, and then let's define a class called model and export it so we can use it later on in our app component. Now let's handle the render of our component. Before returning the model window, we first need to check if the model window should be rendered. So we check the props.show, and only if it's not true, we return null, and therefore nothing will be rendered. Otherwise, we return the model window and create a wrapper div to style the wall component and a content div to take care for the model content. Inside the content div, we render the props.children, which contains all the content that should be appear inside our model. Let's open the browser and see what we got. And as we can see, we have a very simple application where we can click on the Open the Model button and the model window is shown. But why is it not enough? Why we need the portal feature to help us if we can build models that simple? So let me show you why this model component that we have built is not good. Let's create another div inside our hub component called strongest, and give it the same CSS styling as our model. All these stylings will make this strongest div as strong as our model. We also changed the background color to yellow so we can see where the div is. Now let's come back to the browser, and as we can see, when we click the button, we no longer see the model window. The reason for this is that the div with the background color has the same Z index as the model div, but because it comes after it in the DOM, it wins and comes above it. We can see that if we switch between the divs, the model comes above this div. So, for this reason, we need a better way for creating models, a way that won't break in case of such DOM changes. So, to do it, we need to dynamically add a model window to the DOM, so that the model will be the last element inside the body tag. This way we make sure that no element with the same Z index as the model window will come above it. So, how is it related to portals? Portals gives us exactly this, the power to render a component inside any DOM element that we specify. Let's now build a model using the portal feature and see how it helps us to fix the issue. Let's build the model from scratch. We will also need to import React DOM because we will use it later on. Remember that we said that we need to build the model window dynamically? So first, let's create the constructor, and inside let's define the DOM elements that we used to build the model window. The first one was the wrapper div, so we set the model wrapper to be an HTML div element, and the second one was the content div, so we set the model content to be an HTML div element as well. Next, we need to take care for the model to build up when the component is mounted. So let's create the lifecycle method component.didMount, and inside, let's take care for dynamically adding the elements to the DOM. First, we set the styles of the div element that we have created to be the same as we used before, model wrapper style and model content style. Next, we append the model content div inside the model wrapper div, and then we append the wrapper div into the body tag. Finally, we set the style of the wrapper div to be display none because we don't want to show the model window immediately, but only after the Open Model button is clicked. Next, we want to be able to update the state of the model, called show, so when the Open Model button is clicked, the model will be shown. So we add another lifecycle method, component.didUpdate, and inside we check if the props.show is true. If so, we remove the style display none from the model wrapper, and otherwise, if the props.show is false, we add the style display none to the model wrapper. And one last important life cycle we need to take care of is the component will unmount. We added elements to the DOM when the component was mounted, and when the component will unmount, we must take careful cleanups and the removal of the DOM elements that we have added. So simply, inside this lifecycle method, we just remove the model wrapper elements from the DOM. Finally, we need to take care for the render method. Here comes the tricky part. When the component is mounted, we add the model wrapper to the DOM. But where we actually want to render these props.children? That is, where should be displayed the content inside the model? Well, as the example before, we want to render the props.children inside the model content style div. So, using portals, we can simply say exactly this. We create a portal where the first element is what we want to render, and the second element is a DOM element in which we want to render the element inside. See how cool it is? We can ask React to render our content inside a DOM element that lives somewhere out there in the DOM. Now let's test it. Let's open the browser and see how it works. Let's click on the Open the Model button, and as we can see, now the model appears above the yellow background. So it works exactly as we expected. Okay guys, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.